Let me get the word count right as I write. Here's the script. I want to start with a number that hits before anyone has a chance to look away. Let me write it for you. If you've ever had a fasting blood sugar of 105 or an A1C of 5.9 and your doctor glanced at it and said, "You're fine, just watch the carbs," I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes because that fine number may be quietly draining the blood flow you care about most. And here's the part that catches most men off guard. It does its damage in total silence, no pain, no warning. You feel completely normal, right up until you don't. I'm not a doctor, and nothing here is a prescription. I'm a men's health educator, and I've spent a lot of hours reading the research on circulation, because the questions I get from men over 60 almost always come back to the same place. Energy, stamina, firmness, that morning strength that used to just show up on its own. And what I've learned is that the story almost always starts with a number nobody flagged, so let's name it the pre-diabetic range. Fasting blood sugar between 100 and 125 milligrams per deciliter, or an A1C, that's the 3-month average, between 5.7 and 6.4%. Above that, you're in diabetes territory and most doctors act fast. Below 100, you get a gold star. But that whole zone in the middle, that's the quiet one. Tens of millions of men are living in it right now and most have no idea because the body gives you no symptom to feel. Your sugar can sit elevated for years, slowly doing its work, while every test that matters to your doctor still looks borderline normal. Now stay with me because to understand why this hits blood flow first, before your heart, before anything else, you have to understand one thin little layer inside your body. And the part most men get wrong about it comes a bit later, so don't drift off. Picture the inside of every blood vessel you have. It's not a dry pipe. It's lined with a living, delicate layer of cells called the endothelium. Say it with me, endothelium. Honestly, I'd never heard the word until a few years ago, and now I think it's the single most important word in men's health that nobody talks about. This lining does one job that matters enormously to us. It releases a little gas called nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is the signal that tells your blood vessels to relax and open up. Open vessel, more blood flows through. Simple as that. When you want strong flow somewhere, when you want firmness, when you want that fullness, it is nitric oxide opening those vessels and letting the blood rush in. Firmness, at its core, is a blood flow event, not a hormone event, not a willpower event. Plumbing. So here's where the sugar comes in. When blood sugar runs high, even gently high, even in that pre-diabetic zone, those extra sugar molecules drift through your bloodstream and start sticking to things. They damage that delicate endothelial lining. They create what researchers call oxidative stress, and they drag down your nitric oxide. Less nitric oxide means the vessels can't relax and open the way they should. The pipes get stiff. The flow gets weak, and you didn't feel a single moment of it happening. Now here's the part most men get wrong, the thing I promised you. They assume all the blood vessels go at once, evenly. They don't. The vessels that feed performance down there are some of the smallest in the entire body, and small vessels show damage first. A little stiffening barely touches a big artery, but in a tiny vessel, it's the difference between strong flow and a trickle. So the circulation below the belt isn't just a bedroom issue, it's an early warning light on the dashboard. It's often the first place your vascular health shows up, sometimes years before anything reaches your heart. When a thoughtful doctor hears a man mention weaker flow down there, the good ones don't smirk. They check the heart. Because the small pipes were just the canary. There's also a cruel little twist here, and it's worth knowing. When your circulation is under strain, your body triages. It protects the essentials first, heart, brain, lungs. The blood flow that drives firmness and morning strength, your body files that under non-essential. It's the first thing cut and the last thing restored. So when men tell me that area was the first place they noticed a change, I tell them, that's not random. That's your body's budget, and you got moved to the bottom of the list. Okay, let's stop talking and do something. I want you to actually do this with me right now. If you've got an old blood test result in a drawer, in an email, in one of those health app portals on your phone, go find it. Pause me if you have to. Look for two things: your fasting glucose and your A1C. Glucose sitting at 100 or higher, a 1C at 5.7 or above, then you've found your number, the quiet one. And if you can't find a recent test at all, that's its own answer. It means you've been flying blind on the exact thing that drives the flow you care about. Either way, you now know something this morning you didn't know an hour ago. That's the whole point. And by the way, there's a natural blood flow support I personally like for this, built around the nitric oxide side of things. I left it down in the description if you ever want to look into it. No pressure at all. Finish the video first. The levers matter more. Because here's the genuinely good news, and it's the loop I opened at the start, that endothelial lining is not stuck. It's living tissue, and it responds. So let me give you 3 levers you can actually pull. Lever 1, steady the sugar. You don't need a crash diet. The biggest, easiest win for most men is what you drink and how you finish a meal. Cut the liquid sugar, soda, sweet tea, the juice that pretends to be healthy, and take a 10-minute walk after you eat. I was skeptical that something so small could matter, but a short walk after a meal genuinely helps your muscles pull sugar out of your blood instead of letting it sit there sticking to your vessels. Lever 2, feed the nitric oxide pathway. Leafy greens, beets, real food rich in natural nitrates give your body the raw material to make more nitric oxide. Your endothelium can only build that signal from what you give it. Lever 3, move the big muscles, a brisk walk, a little resistance work, anything that gets your legs going. When you contract those big leg muscles, you push more blood through the whole system, and that physical flow is part of how the endothelium repairs and stays responsive. Movement is, quietly, one of the best circulation tools you own, and it's free. None of these are overnight magic, but the lining turns over, the nitric oxide can come back up, and the small vessels, the canaries, are often where you first feel things improving again. One important thing before I go: if you're on any medication, including anything for blood sugar or blood pressure, do not change it or stop it on your own based on a video. Bring this to your doctor. Ask them straight, where exactly is my fasting glucose and my A1C, and what's my plan to bring them down? You're allowed to ask that. It's your body and your number. So that quiet pre-diabetic number, it's not a death sentence, it's information. And now you have it, which means you can do something with it, starting today. And like I mentioned, if you want to check out the blood flow support I use, it's down in the description. Only if you're curious, no rush. Take care of those small pipes, gentlemen. They're telling you the truth before anything else does. This is general education, not medical advice. So partner with your doctor, pull your levers, and I'll see you in the next one.